sweet kid. I was a very sweet kid. I was out there cutting everything. I went down and cut Anna's, and then someone helped me with tech support about my throttle. No, you got to adjust your throttle, and I was okay, and then that'll make things run better. So don't worry about it. You're good. You'll get it, and it'll adjust, and your thing. It's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. So good tech support in my head. People just trying to help because they care. And so yeah, no, I am trying to explain to this. I was pleasantly surprised. I've always told you guys that I thinking women's basketball, they should put it at 9'6", so you could see just how athletic that they are, equally athletic to their male counterparts. And women average about 6 inches shorter than men. And if you put the hoop down to 9'6", that you guys would get the same show that you get from the NBA, that you get from the WNBA, or the same show from NCAA basketball as you get, and in high school too. You'd see like, wow, that girl can, And a lot of guys, well, I can do that too. Yeah, but you typically are 6 inches bigger, okay, than she is. So when, like I told you, with that one little girl that I played with, she was about 5'4", Danny was 5'6", and Danny could dunk, she couldn't dunk, but she could dunk, and she had little hands, like me, and smaller hands and stuff, and she had more average size and build. Her little Jerry curl, I remember she was an amazing athlete, and physically very athletic, a strong, athletic, protecting body. Okay. And so she was cool, and she was cool. She had, she had that attitude like, static, don't start none, won't be none, and and I liked her. And I guess a lot of tribal and secular violence. Some people can handle it differently. And like I told you, I really like Marley Marr. Garner, and me and Jazzy Cooper got along real well when I went to MSU, talked to the kids, and Jazzy has a lot of that protecting athleticism too. And Aaliyah Prince, yes, she's a good kid, fun kid. But I like basketball and I like kids, and I like basketballing with kids, and it don't matter, what genitalia they have. It's just how you play the game. You do it with integrity, and you work together, and you enjoy each other. And one of these days, I'm going to advocate, well, not advocate for it. When I'm done cleaning this fucker up, you guys are going to watch those girls play on a basket with 9-foot things, hoops, and you're going to be like, damn, that girl can throw down. She can throw down. Throw down. And they can't. Okay. And, who was her name? Lisa Leslie, crushes on Clyde. My mom crushed on my sister, too. Just anybody that's an intelligent female crushed on Clyde Drexler. I totally agree with Lisa Leslie on that one. Yeah, no, Clyde's not just physically attractive, he's emotionally attractive. Okay? And that makes him even more attractive. And I totally agree with her. I mean, that's a good assessment. That's a good way to verbalize and explain that. Okay. Is that Clyde isn't just physically attractive, he's an emotionally attractive man. And, and that's the type of, you want to try to explain that to your kids. That's a good example of how to be an emotionally attractive man. So a woman gets, good emotional support, good emotional love from the man that she gets to appreciate, and he gets to appreciate her, so. Holy covenants are the best, man. You guys... coming from Lord Saladin and King David, line, it's absolutely brutal King David and Solomon, it was horrible for them. I remember Lim told me that about his mom saying, he ruined all those women's lives. Says, no, it was the other men that did it. Okay, it was absolute horror. Can you imagine what it's like? Okay. Remember, I told you about Joe Smith hated it, and so did Brigham Young. But they realized it was necessary because there weren't enough men, okay? The men were acting like Carl Malden's character from One-Eyed Jacks. I put these clothes on you and put a roof over your head. It's like, no, you didn't. Okay, she put those clothes on there, on herself, okay? And that roof over your head or whatever, stuff like that, she doesn't do her part to make sure that this roof is a place where people are sheltered and fed and loved and cared for, okay? No one should ever, even if that person is in a wheelchair, Okay? And cannot do anything as a quadriplegic. No one should ever make another human being feel that way. It's a good connection. I like the Caesar Wilson girl. Lady. Girl. I'm an old man. No, she's cute. No, she was very cute. But she sat there and we talked, and the way this stuff works is I do know how it works with me. I connect to people, and then I connect to them. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. The people at NASA, Homeland Security, DARPA, NSA, they invade my prayers, invade my privacy. I've never had intimate sex life or a romantic life that wasn't invaded by a bunch of pervert scientists that are jealous of me. So I know exactly how this stuff works. I know how it works with me, and I know how it works with other people. They are distracted by these perverts. They think Jesus is a cartoon character in their head. No, he's the actual spirit of the man in the book of Revelation. So I know exactly how this works. Thanks, Jeff and Demis. I love you guys. Okay? Hang in there. And I mean that for you too. Okay? Hang in there. Keep the faith, and thank you. Jennifer Lopez, thank you. She is so cute. Look, you haven't helped me as much as Amy. No, Amy had to help me the most. But thank you, Kim. Okay. Don't flirt with me, Frodo. No, you're mean. It's mean. No, I with Kim, it was years ago. Because it's prayer. She was the girl I knew years ago. I sat down and had a beer and felt sorry for myself. Let her go. Let her walk. No, Kim, me and Kim have a special prayer relationship. Kim is a protector of the Spirit of Jesus, and she's a special kid. People like her because she's a very protecting person. She has a lot of Esther type qualities, and a lot of people don't think that. It's like, what did Esther have to do? Okay. Mordecai was the man trying to do the things. He was an older man and stuff like that and everything like that. And look what Jesus did. Look what they did with Jesus. They took him and they had, okay, we'll kill all the women and children. Okay. And then they put him in a diaper and they beat him in public and mocked him and made fun of him the day after he ran all their fucking business lawyers and personal injury lawyers and politicians out of Solomon's Temple the week after. Okay. When they organize and then say, well, it's not organized. When they get together with their selfishness and say, well, let's explain to him what we'll do to all the women and children if he tries to do anything. He wasn't trying to do that. And he said he wasn't, and he wasn't going to. And I'm the same way. There is no physical revolt. There is no revolution physically. Okay? Physically murdering another person to see yourself as gaining a position of manipulation and authority through delusion of human grandeur is insane. Okay? If Mark Wahlberg talking about his dad, your dad's fucking broken, and so are you and your brother. Okay? What the fuck is doing shit and getting revenge over people who fuck people over money have anything to do with trust, honor, and character? Money's a whore. That bitch will lie with anyone. Trust, honor, and character will only lie with those who are worthy. Right? Yeah, you guys need to pull your head out of your assets is what you think with your dick, and you need to quit doing that. Jump around. House of Pain is in effect, y'all. Okay, you know what I mean? So no, no. You got to understand. If you want to understand how to love a child, okay, you're gonna have to do it through a man who loves the woman and understand that the woman acts the way she does is because of the placenta, because she carries that baby and she feels that baby more than the man does. The man is divorced from that because the man has to often kill to protect the baby and the woman from the murderer and the rapist. So your obsession with revenge sows an obsession with the flesh. Vengeance is mine, so saith the Lord. Life is eternal, grace is infinite. When you try to turn me into you, I will explain to everybody worldwide that I am not you and you have never been me. Okay? You be yourself. When you can submit to faith in the glory of God and free the soul from the prison that is your flesh, then you will be like me, but you will never replace me because I was me before you learned how to be you. That is the essence of we, right? So you guys got to understand that. So, thanks, Asia and Donda. I was in the mood to do South Carolina. I don't know why, because I was like sitting there going, Sarah and my Tammy Tam. I love Tammy Tam so much. She's the best. And her little sister and stuff. Yeah, Tammy was so protective. They talked all this mess because there was two in the womb, and one baby didn't make it, and then the other baby used the substance from the other baby to survive the stress of the pregnancy. And then what other people say is they ate the other. But that's not true. They ate through they get their substance through the umbilical cord. God dang, people are ignorant. People don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They used to make Tammy mad. Me and Tammy were really staunch about people, And she was like, he really, and I do really love Stephanie. She goes, he really loves her. Because all these people were talking that he was just, no, I wasn't doing it to get back at her. I was doing it to offer her protection and get protection from her, but she wasn't mature enough and ready for it, and I was. And Tammy knew. No, Tammy's my dog. Tammy will always be my dog. Tammy is one of the most beautiful, strong, protecting women in the history of the world. She's everything good that attracted Sarah to her biological father, and there's a lot good about Sarah. Okay. Sarah Killiard's one of the most beautiful women in the history of the world. Ella Fitzgerald, Nancy Wilson got nothing on Sarah Gilliard. Okay. And so she's one of the most beautiful women that according to her, and since I'm the spirit of Yahweh, so that means she's a really beautiful woman, because of the nature of the spirit. Okay. Like we started out with Lisa talking about Clyde, and me and Clyde have met. And I'm telling you, Clyde is a beautiful person. Okay? He's a good person. He's not the Messiah. Okay, but he's a good guy. Okay. What about everybody's had certain things that they've done in their lives that, he didn't have to have that conversation with me, but he did. And he did it in a mature way and a loving way, because the way he saw me defending my mom to his teammate who could be a real ass, and Clyde knew it. And he apologized for him. And I told him he didn't have to. It's just, I don't have to. And Jim Paxson didn't stick around long for long in that league. Okay, he was pretentious, abusive, and arrogant, and he stayed for a couple of years, and then everybody, they worked his ass out. And his brother John, who was a better ball player and quicker, but was 4 inches shorter, had a much better career. Because John had a different personality. Okay, so you can have two kids in the same family raised by the same two people. And one kid can be kind of an ass. And the other one can be a little more humble. It's funny because the 6'2" could take the 6'6" and whoop his ass in basketball. I tell people all the time, that's why Clyde knew. Okay, it's like, yeah, Isaiah Thomas, yeah, he can whoop a lot of guys, a lot of 6'6". When Kevin took Michael 25 feet from the basket because Michael was being a bitch to PJ, and Phil Jackson had to sit there and tell him, here, you guard him. He says, now will you let me coach the team and you play ball? And he sacrificed that game to win the series because he had studied some Zen Buddhism kind of things because if you try to take control of the team, you won't be in control of the team. But if you allow them to learn from themselves, they will correct themselves. I was watching the game. I saw what I was explaining to Mom. That's what he's doing. Yeah. It's hard. This guy's an egomaniac, and he runs the team. And so you have to sit there and you have to go, okay, well, go ahead. And then when it happened, then Mike comes back. Okay, you're right, Coach. I'll do this. And then they won the series. They shouldn't have, because Danny Ainge shouldn't have doubled down on Horace Grant and the thing. You stick on Paxson. Why? Because Mark West can handle Horace Grant and the thing, and Horace Grant can't shoot free throws for shit. What the fuck you thinking? You got to, pensamos primero somos. You got to think like a basketball player, okay? That Danny Ainge's defense wasn't his stronghold, okay? I love you guys, all right? Peace out.